Afternoon, folks. It's that time. I'm going to be trying one today. It's one of my favourites. One of the things about the flies I'm tying, I'm not tying them just for the sake of tying them and saying, look, I can tie a fly. I'm tying these flies because these are the flies that I catch with. And anything that's going on the website or on the YouTube channel, every one of these flies have been known and good catchers of fish over a period of time, not just for half a season or a season and a half. These flies are constantly in my box and constantly catch fish, no matter what reservoir I've fished in. Every reservoir, small or large, you can alter to suit within these patterns of flies that I'm tying, and they will catch you fish. At some point you will catch fish for them. How many you catch could be up to your own skill, your own idea how to fish the flies that I'm tying. This is one of my favourites. There's a lot of work. A lot of times I fish it under the bung, on the drift. Taits are vicious. A lot of times I fish it just hanging under the bung, but just moving it. And I mean moving it ever so. Letting it drift, and then when the drift's finished, bring it back as slow as you can. And again, the taits are vicious. Anyways, I call it the bloodworm, and it is a bloodworm. I put the gold head onto a B175 Camisat. I'm using a red 140 denier. I think it's Ultra, they cry this. Ultra shred. It's alright, this stuff. I've got different types of shred, but this is fine. Run it right down, run it down to just off the point of the hook. Trim it off. Now you want a wee tail for this. As you all know, or if you don't know, a bloodworm is red. The bloodworms normally burrow into the muck and the sand at the bottom of reservoirs and places like that where there's water. They're the ultimate start of the buzzard's life. Sometimes they can become knocked loose, but the fish will grub for them. Will grub in the knock them out and they eat them. I used to fish them when I used to course angle and fish in the match circuit, and used to buy them and so much bloodworm, a pack of bloodworm, that somebody would go out and scrape in the old ditches to get these blood, clean them off and sell them. Very, very fine red pernickety things. Now, so first of all we need a wee bit of red, the golden colour for the buzzer, a bit of red marabou. Now, I don't like a lot of this in the tail, for one reason. You don't want it getting picked in. It's not supposed to be a lure with a bushy tail. It's just to have a semblance of some form of, some movement at the back of the hook, at the back of it, just like a buzzer. Anyway, run it up to the back, to behind the brass head, and cut it off. And then tidy it up and run it back down. Lap for lap if you can. I'm not very good at it much. I've even got a pair of magnifying glasses on, I can hardly see what I'm doing. But anyway, that's another story. Run it to the tail and then start to shape it thin to thick. So you want to go back up. So you're getting this thin to thick. When I fished with the bloodworm, I had a wee feathery thing at its head. They must have been kind of breather type things or something. But they did have distinctive body segments in them, but it was so tiny, you know what I mean, you can hardly see them. That's when I had good eyes. But these ones work for imitating the bloodworm. You would think because bloodworm live near the bottom, that's how you'd be catching. I presume you will, but if I fish near the bottom, it's with a long leader when a floating line, because I'm not a great lure fisher or sinking line fishing. I'm no into that. I just enjoy float line fishing and using different methods in float line fishing to catch my fish. Sometimes it works, sometimes it didn't. I've got blanks like somebody else. In fact, last year was a horrendous year in Alden. The fish just wouldn't play at all. We had hardly, very little. We usually got a mayfly hatch, May, June, and any time I was there, there was hardly any showing. And we reckon it was due to the big drought the year before. The water levels dropped by 40 feet. My reckoning is that's that fly finished now. You see the shape, it's going from thick to thin, down to the tail. Just tie it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just build it up a wee bit at the back of the thing. That's it finished. But one of the most important things with this fly you've got to do before you do anything else, when it's finished, you've either got to put a varnish or a couple of coats of varnish on it, because I can guarantee you the fish, I forgot to put varnish on, and one fish later flies round, bite it with her teeth and it's ruined. Now I use this stuff. This is called, it's just a UV clear resin, that one, but the stuff I usually use is a gold Gulf. You get them in all different colours, yellow, brown, black, white, and it's an epoxy resin and you can use them. I'll show you in a later video for making up traffic light buzzers and making up epoxy buzzers with white cheeks, saving you tying in pieces of white material at the side of the cheeks. You can just do it black and then put in a daub of this stuff at each side of the cheeks and then cure it off, and it works just the same. And you squeeze a wee drop of this onto it, and then see how you can shape it. You can shape it. You don't want it too thick at the bottom. You want it a wee bit thicker at the top there. That's it. Now make sure you've covered all the threads. If you don't cover all the threads, I can guarantee you their teeth will snap into it. Now, I used to put 2 or 3 coats on, but I've found out recently, in the last couple of years or so, one coat was enough. I'll do it with this, but I'll need to change my batteries and my torch. It looks like it's a bit dull. Anyway, I'll do it off with this just now. So you cure it all the way around. Cure it. I'll do just now. I'll change my batteries later. And that's it. That's the bloodworm. And I can assure you folks, it can do some damage in letting the other fly in the correct day. I hope you enjoyed that, and stick some comments in if you've got anything to say. I'm not caring whether it's good or bad, to tell you the truth, but I can always have a read at them, see if I can make things better for everybody. Right, tight lines.